Hello, welcome to the video, I guess. I got a couple things to talk about today. Gonna try and integrate some concepts. The first thing is, going back to yesterday is like service to others. I'm here to serve myself, not you, okay? And I'm doing what I'm told to do, and that's put out these videos. It's a contradiction. But that's the way the universe is. That's the way the entities are. I'm serving myself by putting out these videos, which, on the other hand, are helping you. Make that make sense? Well, the universe doesn't make sense in our limited view of the elephant. Don't ask me to, I just explained it to you as good as I can. If you want to debate with me on that, fine, let's do it. Maybe my ideas will change or get clearer, but I can't help you. You're going to have to help yourself. And you can get started by listening to these and asking for help. All right? You have to ask for help. And it's not to help the world, it's to help you. Okay? Because, number one, you are the most important person to you. And secondly, as I said before, there really isn't anybody else but I. There's nobody else out there. You have to fix this. You're at fault, and luckily, you can fix it. Okay, let's go on to the concept. As a coach, I have three things that I basically address. Number one, accountability. Number two, connection, relationships like that. And then thirdly, wealth. So let's go backwards. You cannot have wealth unless you're accountable and honest. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. And if you can't, then you make amends. What's the 12-step program? Make amends. But I wouldn't recommend saying, I am powerless to overcome this. No, you are full of power. You can overcome anything. But that part of the 12-step is absolutely correct. You know, I'm addicted to things, and I got over addiction because I said I'm going to do it. I'm realizing the power that I have. Okay, and that's what attracts all kinds of beings to us, entities to us, because we have the power to change our future. Some people say the most that they've ever seen. So now you know how much power you have. So don't believe the lie that says, oh man, I have to, grovel myself in front of something out there. No, you have the power. And you have the power to become accountable and honest. This is the biggest thing when I'm dealing with private messages. Now, they don't even get to first base. So, if you want to get to first base, listen to my stuff, comment on it, and we can go from there. Ask questions about it. So first, you're honest and accountable. And secondly, you know how to form a relationship, a connection. Anywhere from business to personal to love. And when that happens, it's like this kind of DNA, this spiral thing between two. And actually, it's three, because there's the universe that's going around and holding it all together. So it's three, not two. What's it say in the Bible? Three-stranded rope cannot easily break. That's why people never braid a rope with 2 strands. It's 3 or more. Okay, I'm using the Bible as an example, but it's just basic, secular knowledge. All right. And wealth, well, I talked a little bit about that yesterday. Yeah, you can find it in crypto. You can go out and do this, and you could go out and start a business. You can get a better job. All those things need to happen, but in the end, basically, you have to be controlling your future. So, doing crypto, you're in your own business too. So that's the ultimate thing. You can't work for somebody else and have a job just over broke. That'll never work. And unless you're very, very, very unique, less than 1% of the people can do that. But in the end, they're working 8 to 10 to 15 hours a day. So it's really not the answer. It's from the old matrix. So it goes backwards too. Well, you will never get your dream until you know how to make money. You go back to the upper level, finding your dream. And you will never become accountable and honest until you do steps 1 and steps 2, realizing you're loved, loving yourself. It all kind of interweaves. And mankind was never made to be alone. If you want to make it in this world, you got to have a good, solid, know how to do it, personal relationship. I wouldn't recommend marriage in today's climate, but there's got to be commitment there. Public commitment, not through the state, not through the church. You can have a ceremony saying, I'm committed to her. And if you want to really, really get, out there, you could say, I'm committed to her for 5 years. Because if you or she changes, I'm talking about a male, you can just cut the contract off. And that's what prenups are, and postnups, and everything like that. If you don't keep the contract, if you go out and cheat, steal money, those are the 2 biggest things. Change your ideas about having kids, where to live. There's a lot of people, they get married, and all of a sudden they need it's 99% of the time it's a woman needs a bigger house and more cars and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not part of the contract. The contract is written to the beginning, and no man will ever agree to that. The man is always looking out for his future and provision, and buying a bigger house is not providing, and not a nicer car. There's certain limits on there. If you're making $100,000 a month, okay, you can buy a $50,000, $70,000, even after a while, $120,000 car. I don't know why you'd want that. The 50 or 60, depending on what part of the world you're in, but you can buy where I'm at, you can buy a pretty nice car for 40 grand. And used, even less, 30, 25. So, expectations. And what's a $120,000 car going to do for you anything more than a $50,000 car? Or even a $20,000. It's going to get you from here to here. The only difference is you're putting it out to look what kind of car I drive. Yeah, some of them are safer, but if you have the right attitude, you won't get in an accident because you're self-aware. So, all of these things come back from you being honest and accountable and be able to do connections with other business people, with other opportunities, and you have to be in contact with yourself to know which ones are good. Go back to Napoleon Hill. Once you get your attitude right, there'll be so many opportunities for you, you won't even be able to handle them all. So you have to uh, be smart, be aware. And this is always an ongoing thing. Last thing is, yeah, this is all advice. But unless you pay for advice, it means nothing because you're not going to do anything with it. And that's what I'm told to say. So you can just listen and listen. Oh, and I'm getting people, oh, can you give me some of your insight? You know what I tell them? Go back and listen to the stuff. It's free. You just want free stuff. I'm not going to help you unless you pay for it. And it doesn't have to be for me. Said it before. Go find somebody you can pay that you resonate with, that you can accept help from. So, if you want to pay for it, I got PayPal, I got blah blah blah, and I got bank accounts or whatever you want. But that's the only way this is going to help you. Thank you.